Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Bryan with DD214 Transport. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell. That intro was a lot long because the kids come in at the last second, was just going nuts in here. Dogs were going crazy, so we had to let it run a little longer, shoosh everybody out. So sorry about that. All right, so listen, here it is Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving. We've got some news to put out there for you. We got at the end, we're going to talk about where we need to be setting up for 2024. So stick around and be listening on for that. All right. Now, before we get too far gone, what we want to do is we want to thank all of our veterans and first responders for all they do and all they continue to do for this country. We would not be the country we are without you. Furthermore, remember the military guys that are over in the med right now dealing with that mess. All right. Wounded Warrior Project and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is our charities of choice. If you'd like to help us out with that, you can go to patreon.com and there's the user ID. Everything that's donated over there, we match 100%. So if you can do it, do it. We appreciate all of you for helping us help them. Whoa, I went bass backwards. All right, so fuel prices. We're down to $4.20 and 9/10, about $4.21 a gallon. That's again off 8.5 cents from a week ago. And you know, there's a lot of people standing around wondering why. Well, because the supply has, or not the supply, but the demand has dropped. You know, normally we have what's called a peak right now. And I tell, you know, if you go back through some of the videos, you'll hear we have a peak from like the end of September through the first week in December. Guys, we haven't had that. We haven't had that at all. Like we've been talking about, the freight market has collapsed. And, you know, if you don't need the fuel and they're still pumping out fuel, prices are going to go down. Okay, so that's where we are. They're going down a little bit. All right, let's go back over here. All right, news. October truck tonnage up month to month, down year to year. Truck tonnage on an annual basis declined for the 8th consecutive month in October, but improved slightly on a month-to-month basis, according to American Trucking Association. Now, guys, I'm going to throw this up here real quick and let you listen to this. I was going to duplicate all this, and then I was just messing around, and I found this guy who said it perfectly. So I'm going to let you hear this real quick.
A few days ago, shipping analyst FreightWaves came out with a sobering report showing soaring bankruptcies among trucking and logistics firms as freight volumes crash. In an age where many of us are skeptical about government statistics, freight volumes are one of the more reliable shadow indicators of coming recession. And keep in mind, we're just 6 weeks from Christmas, meaning this is usually the peak season for shipping. FreightWave CEO listed out the red wedding level of carnage. 30,000 employees out of work when trucking firm Yellow went down, followed by the bankruptcy of $4 billion VC-backed freight brokerage Convoy. Air cargo operator Western Global went down with $500 million in debt. Freight broker Surge, $200 million in revenue, slumped. North Carolina trucking company FreightWorks took out 200 truckers. Texas-based SEL took out another 125. California-based and family-owned Certified Freight took down 157. 40-year-old Montana trucking company Meadowlark left hundreds more jobless, and Florida-based Flagship took out 455. The list goes on from Vermont to Miami to California to Pennsylvania. Note that is just the bankruptcies. The layoffs are on top. Danish shipping giant Maersk just laid off 10,000 workers and cut capital expenditure by $3.5 billion. In other words, they'll be running down existing capital. They did this because revenue fell by 50%, among plunging freight costs and ships running half empty. Maersk is widely viewed as a global trade barometer, and the layoffs were so big, they drove the Eurasia Review to fret about the, quote, disintegration of globalization. Indeed, prices across the 8 major global shipping routes have plunged by more than half this year, going from $3,000 per 40-foot container to just $1,400. Maersk's shipping rates are down 58%, China's Costco is down 60%, and Japan's Ocean Network Express is down 62%. A report by Drewry forecasts the entire industry will lose $15 billion next year. Now, this is feeding directly into trucking, which is the last mile. In fact, going by employment, trucking is doing 3 times worse than the 2000 recession, which was itself much worse than the 2008 recession. Still not a recession, though, until Paul Krugman says it is. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained. For shipping, the near term is pretty bleak, with falling prices running into continuing inflation. Some of this was inevitable after the epic pandemic-era run-up. Remember, it was just 2 short years ago that newspapers were jammed with stories of blocked supply chains, America's driving to Mexico for baby formula, or cruising eBay for used washing machines lest they wash their clothes in a creek. At one point, the Baltic Dry Index, which measures the cost to ship raw materials, hit almost 12,000. That's about 8 times normal. That pulled thousands of new workers into trucking and shipping. So Walmart at one point was offering $110,000 starting pay for truck drivers. And it launched dozens of major container ships that are only now coming online. That overhang is taking years, so freight analyst Alphaliner estimates shipping capacity will increase 8.2% this year. It's about 6 times faster than demand, even as the industry loses billions. In short, shipping says a fairly brutal recession is incoming, while lockdowns once again have whipsawed an industry that millions depend on.
So, not to be the doom and gloom guy, but we're over. We've got way too much capacity in the market right now. So much that, and it's still coming on. You know, we're losing, but, you know, what has already been started is still floating in. So, again, not trying to be the doom and gloom, just giving you the facts. All right, carriers must act now to avoid the FMCSA's portal lockouts. Basically, for this in a nutshell, they're doing a multi-factor authentication deal. And you have to get up there and log on and do what you got to do, or you're going to lose access to your portal. So don't. They've been announcing this for a minute, but it's coming to that by you got to do this by December 1st. Okay. So, and it says, in light of growing prevalence of cybersecurity breaches, the Biden administration issued a mandate requiring all federal agencies to conduct multi-factor authentication as part of the government zero trust security status. Okay. And that's what it's all about. You just have to go on and go through the steps to do to set up a multi-factor authentication. So be sure you do that, guys. All right, news. All right. Fraud. Guys, fraud is absolutely running rampant. The guy, now wait a minute. Let me preface this by saying I suspect, I don't know for sure, but those guys that we busted the other day double brokering, what one of them, I think, I have to tell you, and that I'm guessing, but I think one of those two has hijacked my email address and is trying to book loads under us. That's what I think's happening. One morning, just all hell broke loose, and I had calls from everywhere, all over the country. So yeah. So now this is one that even today, I'm not sure what is happening with this. Stream Logistics had a security breach in their system, and their load board security got compromised. Now, Truck Stop, where they were posting loads, knew about the security breach. Stream Logistics here knew about the security breach. Nobody said anything. They did not. There should have been a post that went out to everybody notifying them that there had been a security breach at Truck Stop, and nobody did it. Nobody. And a driver went over to pick this load up and take it out to Arizona. There wasn't a load there. Nobody knew anything about it. This was a total fictional load that was posted, and nobody knows where it come from. So it was part of that security breach. And guys, these hackers and these scumbags are out there just wreaking havoc with the industry, wreaking havoc. And it's crazy. So what this guy did to me was he took my email address and my email signature. He added a bunch of ones. He created a fake one, almost like mine, but added a bunch of ones to it. And then started calling up and booking loads, or trying to book loads under our MC. That's what he did to us. So now look here. This is what I got from him the other day. He sent this to me. Fuck your family, he says. And it says it's from me, but it's with that fake email address. And the next one says, you can see here, I blew it up. See all these ones behind it? Yeah, that's the fake email address. He's got my name on it. He sent it to me. Fuck your family, it says. And then down here it says, fuck you, Bryan. I'm still playing games, stupid man. So, so am I. And he's going to keep fucking around, and he's going to find out. All right, picture of the week. Here we go. That's from me. I love that picture. Mm-hmm. I call this Chasing the Sunset. I was heading west. And yeah, I love that picture. The next one's from Jeremy, and that's a pretty cool picture right there too. So yeah. All right, update. We've got an update on the trailer that was running a ditch. Well, it was total. It's a total loss. There was running it in a ditch like this is bad, but yanking it out of the ditch just destroyed it. And they did it with that 10,000-pound excavator on the back. So there's nothing left of it. They got up underneath of it. The frame was twisted in two different places and bent in two different places. They would have had to replace an axle, and it got up over $30,000, and they just said, no, we're going to total it. So that one, if you see it online somewhere for sale, don't buy it, because the axles are bent on. Oh, there's the other one. You see how deep that thing went in, and he's just beating it around in the ditch trying to get it out. All right, under the hood. Let's talk about under the hood tonight. What are we doing under the hood? Under the hood, we are preparing for year-end taxes. Meaning, let me drop this real quick. What it means is basically we're getting our ducks in a row. All of our stuff is theirs. You pull reports, you do this, you do that. But, you have to go in and make sure that everything's allocated correctly, get it to the accountants, let them start looking at it, give you a projection tax forecast. I do that every year. And, so that's part of this gig. And one thing that makes it hard for us is that we started this time of year. Our business startup this time of year. So not only are we dealing with the taxes and all the stuff that's going to come in January, we're also dealing with the year-end stuff that we have to deal with in December. So it's just piles on this time of year. And next is renewing our annual filings. This is part of the startup process. You got to renew. Right now, we have to renew all of our corporate entity information with the Secretary of State and go through all that process. The next thing we did this week was we had to get everybody home for Thanksgiving. So the drivers are all, I think all but one is home with their family, resting out. And I'm happy for them. I'm glad they're home with their family. Now, this week has been very slow. And when I say very slow, I mean not much really happening. No kind of real crazy. I mean, you're under the hood, man. I'm like a squirrel in a squirrel cage. I'm doing this all day long, every day, 50 things, boom, boom, boom. This week, because we're on a short week, not a lot going on. And I'll be honest with you, I started getting a little sketchy sitting over there. I don't like that. I like to be moving, things happening. I like them happening for the better than for the worse, but I like things happening. So yeah, it's been a slow week, and I'll be glad when we get back on it. Okay, so that's pretty much all the stuff I have, but I wanted to talk to you guys about 2024 and how I think we should deal with, if you're not in the business and you're thinking about getting in the business, how you should deal with it at this point. Well, if you watch any of my things, then you know that 2024 is not going to be a great year. So, and I've told you this for a year now. So what I think you need to be thinking about is this. Now is going to be the time to, one, get your CDL. Go to school, get your CDL. Two, if this is something you are really, really thinking about, start looking at equipment, because equipment's going to be cheap right now. All right. So in the next 4 or 5 months, we're pretty much at the bottom. We're going to be dragging along the bottom for the next 4 or 5 months. So start looking at your equipment, not the power equipment. Okay. Unless you want to go buy a semi. If you want to buy a semi, man, I'm telling you, in the next couple of months, they're going to be dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. They're back just before pandemic levels are now. The next thing you want to do, once if you don't have your CDL, you get into school and get your CDL, and then what you want to look at is possibly doing some OTR with a trucking company. Learn on their dime. Get that CDL and learn on their dime. And because guys, you're going to make mistakes out there. in all actuality, you're going to hit stuff. So if you're going to hit stuff, have it on their equipment. Sorry I said that, but seriously, get some time under your belt so you understand the industry. Do your homework now. Do your homework. Now's the time to be prepping, getting ready. So if you want to get in this industry, you can. Okay. And you get into it knowing what you're doing. All right. So that's my thoughts on that. Do we have any questions? No questions? We can open it up to the floor now. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear them. So there are right now. Now, look, one thing, if you're going to be looking at trailers, be sure you make sure that you know what's going on with the trailer. If you looked at that trailer that ran in the ditch, other than some scuffs on one side, if you just stand back and look at it, it's hard to tell how bad that frame is twisted. But the neck is twisted, the frame about midway down is twisted, and then you have two bends in it on the back and a bad axle. So you really got to pay attention at what you're buying. I looked around, pickup trucks haven't really dropped much. And I think that is, I think that's just the either the manufacturers or the stores trying to artificially keep the prices up. So I looked around, and most of them are still $70,000, $80,000, $85,000, $90,000. I'm just not paying that for a pickup. I don't care what it is. It's not worth it to me. What do you think? Yeah, we got some comments. Hey, Mike. Next year, I won't go out this week. Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah, Mike. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's a dead week. I mean, it's tough to make money this week because, it's basically a half a week. So when you guys are planning to go out, now I will tell you, those people who are out there on today's Wednesday. So those who are out there today and have picked up and that need to deliver Friday or Monday, they're going to make some money. Okay. So those guys will make money because they're basically being paid to be away from home for the holiday season. So, okay. What else we got? Planning to start part-time in the spring once I get my 40-foot trailer. TG, part-time. Remember this, my friend. Your bills are full-time. And you can't take a half step at this. When you go to swing, you just remember that every bill you're going to have is going to come every month. Not part-time, every month. Once you start that insurance, it's every month. Once you start everything else, it's every month. You got a truck payment, a trailer payment, whatever you have, that's every month. It doesn't go away. So if you can only do it part-time, wait until you can go. That's my suggestion. I started with TMC. Good place to learn securement. Yes, sir. Hey, Mike, you're absolutely right. Mike, you've got a big heads up or a big hand up there because, that's a good place to learn your load securement. And I think they're a very good company. I really do. As far as flatbed companies go, they're very militaristic. They like to keep their equipment clean. You see them going down the road and they look good all the time. So, good deal with running with TMC. That's a good deal, Mike. Thank you. All right. So that looks like that's about it for all the questions this evening. Like I said, when you get ready to get into this thing, if you haven't already bought your equipment yet, start looking for it, but don't. If you can go buy a trailer for cash, fine. It's not going to go bad sitting there. But If you're not planning on, you know, goodness gracious, you have all these companies going out of business, filing bankruptcy, being liquidated. And, you know, it's going to be a buyer's market here in a minute. So just pay attention to what's going on around you with equipment. And if you can buy it without going into debt, that is the key, man. If you can buy a trailer without burying yourself, do it, because you're going to get a great deal on it. But if you have to buy something and finance it, I would wait, because, you know, what do you got? What are you gaining with other than a bill, right? Okay. So what do we got? Hi, what do you think about starting off with non-CDL Hotshot? I think you're shooting yourself in the face, Tim. No. Invest in yourself first. Get your CDL. They are doing they're doing everything they can do right now to shut down non-CDL. Okay. So here's your example. If you live in North Carolina, your trailer weighs 9,000 pounds, you're going to have a GVWR of 10,000 pounds. That means you legally can haul 1,000 pounds. Okay. It's just, because your trailer, your GVWR is 10,000 pounds. At 10,001 pounds in North Carolina and most other states, you have to have a CDL. Okay. So if you go across the scale and your GVWR on your trailer is 10,000 pounds and you're carrying, you know, say 8,000 pounds on your trailer, and your trailer weighs 9,000 pounds, that's 17,000 pounds. You got to have a CDL. So, you know, there's some states you can get away with the 26,000 pound rule, but most of them have now closed up to where you can't. You know, I think there's a few states out there you can get away with it, but the way everybody's reading it now is that if what you're hauling has a GVWR of 10,001 pounds or higher, then you need a CDL to pull it. Okay. So that's that. I hope that helps you out, buddy. But listen, you know, if you're going to invest something, one thing you got to realize is that you invest in yourself. That knowledge is so essential in this business. Just having that knowledge. You know, if you go get your CDL, you know, you can do anything as long as you keep your license clean. You keep that thing straight and clean, you'll always have a job. Always. You can always get a job. But non-CDL, one, you're buying equipment for a non-CDL setup. Okay. Then if you go, once you start, remember, you start, all your stuff starts. Truck payment, trailer payment. You know, good intention is, I'll go get my my CDL later. No, you won't, because you're going to have to stop running while you get your CDL. And if you stop running for 2 months or 5 weeks, whatever the class is, that insurance is still coming. It's still beating down on you. The truck payment, trailer payment, insurance, blah, 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 blah. That's still coming. So invest in yourself first. Once you do that, you can do whatever you want. Okay, because you'll always have a place to go. All right. Okay. I used to have a CDL about 10 years ago. Heard about the rules change. Now it's hard to get. You got to go to school now. You can't just, if you had your CDL 10 years ago, you could have reinstated it, you know, up until a certain point, but now you can't. Now you got to go back to school. So if you've already had your CDL, that means you already know how to do it. Now you just have to go through the classroom work to get it done. Yes, it's harder to get because that's the way they want to make it. So, yeah, nothing else. All right, guys. Well, listen, for you and your family, I want you all to have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Enjoy your family. Love them because it's all you got. And let me say hi real quick. Mila don't like me going over here. All right, who we got? We got King and None. Hey, brother. West Texas. We got King and None again. West Texas. Robert Kine. Hey, everybody. We got Noel, Sid, Ralph Aldrich is in the house. We got Mike, Aldrich, Thomas Abe, TG. I'm just running down as quick as I can. She hates it when I get over in here because I start reading stuff and then I get off topic. So let me close it. Hi, everybody. I'm really glad you're here. But listen, enjoy your time at home. And, thank you guys for stopping by, and happy Thanksgiving. So we'll talk to you next time. Love you, mean it. Have a great weekend. This is Bryan with DD214 Transport. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications.